This is Lance Farside of GreenMedInfo.com. Breaking news: China destroys 3 U.S. shipments of GM corn. Could the global tide in support of GMOs be turning? A new report reveals that the formerly pro-GMO Chinese government, one of the largest consumers of GMO food crops in the world, is beginning to crack down on GM corn shipments from the U.S. that have not followed appropriate biosafety regulations. According to the news brief released today by GMWatch.org, China destroyed 3 shipments of GM corn imported from the U.S. GMWatch.org reported, "The law says that the Chinese Ministry of Agriculture must require environmental and food safety tests to be carried out by Chinese institutions in order to verify data provided by the seed developer. All these documents must be reviewed by the National Biosafety Committee before the MOA can issue a safety certificate. Yet these shipments of U.S. corn did not have the relevant safety certificates and approval documents according to the news reports below." The first 2 shipments are referenced on the website of the Zhuhai Entry-Exit Inspection and Quarantine Bureau, confirming that 2 illegal GM corn shipments entered the Wansai port in Zhuhai City on May 7th and were subsequently destroyed. Recently, during inspection and quarantine of imported food from the U.S., the Wansai office of Zhuhai Inspection and Quarantine Bureau detected 2 shipments containing GM corn products, which are not in compliance with China's entry and exit of genetically modified products inspection and quarantine management approach. The office destroyed the 2 shipments of corn according to the provisions. The existence of a third shipment was confirmed in a May 19th article appearing on news.china.com.cn titled, "Harbin intercepted a total of 115 kilograms of GM corn seeds, which will be destroyed." Recently, the Harbin Entry-Exit Inspection and Quarantine Bureau intercepted inbound mail of 21 cartons of corn seed from the U.S. totaling 115 kilograms, which were detected as GM seeds. This is the first time that the Heilongjiang Provincial Inspection and Quarantine System has intercepted inbound corn seeds containing GM ingredients. Surprisingly, despite these seemingly drastic steps by Chinese authorities to destroy GM seeds, an article in China Daily from last year explains that the consumption of GM soybeans is already universal in China, even despite widespread public concerns that they have not been adequately safety tested. Summary: imported Roundup herbicide-resistant GM soybeans known as RR soybeans have already accounted for over 80% of total consumption of soybeans in China, but the assessment and approval procedures for the initial imported GM soybeans have been called into question that its examination procedures exist with defects. The China Daily article goes on to quote the Deputy Director of Agricultural Finance and Education Department, who stated that over 50 million tons of GMO soybeans were imported to China in 2011 alone. The article also refers to the fact that for 8 years, 1.3 billion Chinese consumers have been consuming Monsanto's GM food crops, relying entirely on biotech-funded safety evaluations without any independent safety testing carried out by the Chinese government. Additionally, a revealing study published in 2012 found that the Chinese print media is completely co-opted by biotech industry influence. They revealed that 48.1% of articles were largely supportive of the GM technology research and development programs and the adoption of GM cottons, while 51.9% of articles were neutral on the subject of GMOs. Risks associated with GMOs are mentioned in the newspaper articles, but none of the articles express negative tones in regards to GMOs. The authors concluded, Chinese print media is largely supportive of GMOs. It also indicates that the print media describes the Chinese government as actively pursuing national GMO research and development programs and the promotion of GM cotton usage. Are these latest incidents a sign that the Chinese government is beginning to take more seriously the health threats associated with the consumption of genetically modified food? According to the GMWatch.org report's primary informant, the new government's decisive move to destroy the illegal GMOs is progressive, encouraging, and satisfying. He regards it as a sign that it is keeping its promise to work for the people and the nation. The informant went on to say the deeply pro-GMO old government would not have made such a thing public. It would have secretly returned the shipments, or in most cases, it would not even have inspected shipments that could contain GM ingredients. Thanks for listening. This is Lance Farside from GreenMedInfo.com, bringing you another informative article. Make sure to visit our website and subscribe to this channel to hear more and stay updated on your healthy lifestyle.